What's up, homegirls? ¿Qué onda, morras? Buenos días, tardes, o noches, since I don't know when you're listening to this. I hope your day is going good, or at least better than yesterday. Welcome to Te Crees Muy Muy, the podcast para las homegirls who are healing, growing, and figuring life out, sin plan, con flow. I'm your host, aka your Chicana homegirl from Cali, Stephanie, and as always, muchísimas gracias for pressing play and hanging out with me. And your reminder of the day, morra, el tren no se fue, tú vales oro, no migajas. Agárrate las pestañas y vámonos. Now, let's get into it. What's up, homegirls? Gracias for stopping by. Seriously, it means a lot. Just a quick heads up on a couple things. I speak Spanglish, so expect to hear that inside these episodes. Si no te gusta, no hay pedo, ni modo. This ain't the place for you. No hard feelings. I won't get butthurt. Second thing is I use salty language. I'm trying not to cuss as much, but a veces se me sale, so just FYI. And the last part is I am reading off a guide, kind of like a script, or si no, I'm going to be all over the place, and I'm going to be hella rambling, and then there's going to be like, y esto y que lo otro, yeah. So just please bear with me. I'm doing this on my own. So with that being said, let me go ahead and get started. I want to be transparent, clear, and real, but also understanding and gentle with y'all. Some of the topics on this podcast can be tough to listen to, especially if you're just starting to grieve your unmet life expectations, what I call your life shoulds. This space is for all kinds of women. Some want kids, but not marriage. Some want marriage, but no kids. Some want both, some want neither, and some don't even know. All of that is valid. But here's where it gets tender. Some of you may be deep in grief/mourning, whether it's from fertility struggles, the loss of a marriage, the loss of a friendship, the loss of someone close to you, or the painful truth that marriage or motherhood may no longer be possible. You don't owe anyone explanations. You are valid. You're welcome here. With that being said, this podcast may not be the most helpful for you if you're still in the very raw part of that pain. Not because you're not loved, but because I'm not a therapist, I'm not a counselor, I'm not a mental health professional. This isn't a replacement for therapy, fertility support, or grief counseling. So if you're really deep in that pain right now, honor that. Take your time. Seek deeper healing. You deserve it. Te Crees Muy Muy is for las morras, the homegirls who are starting to question their life shoulds, who are ready to begin releasing the fantasy and want to find some peace in the present, even if it still stings. We're not skipping your pain. We're just not staying stuck in it forever. Ahora sí, let me get into it. I hella struggled with that. My bad. Es que if I start to me trabo, then I kind of just giggle, or else I'm going to start hella laughing. So just FYI. So let me tell you a quick story. I never thought I'd be 38, soon to be 39, single, no career, and not married. Oh, and let's go ahead and sprinkle in an 8-year stomach illness that I still have, that had me questioning everything. That same illness that made me finally admit out loud that I didn't even like the industry I was working in. I was just there for my coworkers. And now I'm here figuring it all out. But before you start thinking, esta vieja casi cuarentona chillando about a life that never happened, hold up. Why are we so quick to assume I just didn't try? No me tocó, que no? And I don't want to sound insensitive, but grief/mourning isn't just about death. You're allowed to mourn the life you never had, the one you had and you no longer have, the dreams that didn't happen, the expectations you once held so tightly. Has anyone ever told you that? Because grief looks different for everyone, but you don't have to figure it out alone. So why this podcast? That space in between, where you thought you'd be and where you actually are. Yeah, that part. That's where the real work begins. That's what this podcast is about. Processing, reflecting, building community, laughing, crying, taking responsibility, and figuring out what comes next. Some days we're mourning, some days we're letting go, and some days nos vale madre and we stay still. We're rebuilding. So if you ever find yourself stuck in the land of life shoulds, you're in the right place. Welcome to Te Crees Muy Muy podcast. Why Te Crees Muy Muy? Because in our Latino, especially Mexican community, the minute you try to heal or do something different, people start talking shit. They'll say that you're a creída, like you suddenly think you're muy muy for wanting more or going against the grain. I don't know why our community does that. Do you? And remember, morras, stop letting people make you feel some type of way when they say, ya se te fue el tren, or te quedaste a vestir santos. Who said we were even waiting for a train? Ya llegó el avión, el carro, el barco, la bicicleta, el patín, hell, tus pies. So hold on to your pestañas and vámonos. So this is what I call las feelings. See, last year hit different, with more time to sit and think. Or is it think and sit? Regardless, I started asking myself some random ass questions, especially this one. Why am I not where I thought I'd be in life? That question hit me hard. Was I having a midlife crisis at 37? Or was I really behind for Mexican standards? Maybe even questioning your life shirts too. Maybe you've been sitting with that uncomfortable feeling of, wait, this isn't what I imagined. Do I feel like I'm behind because I haven't hit certain milestones? Or do I feel that way because society says I should have? And of course, that question didn't come alone. It dragged a whole ass emotional baggage set. No particular order, guilt. I should have it more together by now. Comparison. Everyone around me seems to be moving forward. What about me? I put jealousy, but in reality, I think for me it was more envy than jealousy, but we can just put them together. Why not me? I work just as hard. Anger. I'm grown. Why is life still this hard? Sadness. Will I always feel like I'm missing on something? Embarrassment / shame. I should have figured things out. I'm almost blank years old. Feeling lost. I should know by now. It's been years and I still don't. These feelings show up in different ways depending on what you thought your life would look like. For some women, it's marriage or kids. For others, it's career, purpose, or just low-key that sense of feeling off track. Either way, no estás sola, homegirl. So, I say comparison is a trap. Are you feeling pressure to have the right career, relationship, or lifestyle because you truly want it, or because you've been told it's the right thing to do? Comparison is a trap, and here's why. When we feel like we're behind, it's usually because we're comparing ourselves to other women. We measure our lives against theirs without seeing the full picture. We see engagement pictures, baby announcements, new houses, career glow-ups, traveling, big friend groups, etc. But we don't see the behind-the-scenes struggles, the sacrifices, the choices they have to live with. And I think, let me side note here, and I didn't write this on the guide, but it's really important because I put the sacrifices and the choices they had to live with. Because, homegirls, let me stop this episode real quick. If any of this is hitting, if you're having an aha, oh shit, or that's interesting moment, good, I'm glad. You're welcome. No, but for real, in all seriousness, I made something for y'all. I made a resource. It's a simple 15-page reflection journal to help you process those life shoulds. A space where you can do a brain dump, talk your shit, or just write without anyone reading it. It's called El Journal de Mis Life Shoulds. If you're ready to start sorting out todo este desmadre, the link is in my bio. Now, let me get back to this episode. This is going to sound super judgmental, and I don't want to sound like that, but there are people participating in some risky ass behaviors to get where they're at. Only you know what that risky behavior may look like and stuff like that. Like, for example, and some creators and influencers have done a better, not have done a better job. They have shown sometimes like their struggle, right? Like, for example, if they have kids, they're talking about, how hard it is to raise kids, or si están casados, the marriages stuff, or single, trying to date, como está the dating scene right now, or traveling like either with people or alone, the challenges and pros, whatever. So I give them props and stuff. But obviously, they're not, a lot of the times they don't show the sacrifices. They don't show the choices they had to live with. So just keep that in the back of your mind, because I know some people are going to be like, yeah, no shit, it's social media. We use social media to escape our problems or to kind of just like doom scroll. It's not that deep, but still hay mucha gente que se cree todo. So that's why I'm saying you teach your algorithm what to see in social media. Use it to your advantage. Si ves, for example, I don't know, that you want to date and eventually get engaged and get married, and you're not there yet for whatever reason, y ves a whole bunch of morras like moving in, getting proposed, casándose, tener babies, low-key, we're human, right? Maybe you're going to feel some type of way, and not in a malicious way or anything like that. Okay, maybe no te está ayudando. Do a detox. Quítate de social media, TikTok or whatever for a day or two, right? Or write it out. Do a brain dump. Write it on your notes, or if you have a voice memo, vete a caminar and do a brain dump and say, you know, I saw, for example, this influencer, I don't know, y se va a casar, man, I feel hella sad because I'm hella wondering if I'm ever going to get married, esto y que el otro, and you will feel much better. And FYI, obviously, I'm sure you guys know this, we cannot be healing 24/7, right? And be working about, no, how do you say this? Like, you can't be working on your trauma 24/7 or your triggers, because that shit would be exhausting. And I'll talk about that later in otro episode que voy a hacer and stuff. But just be mindful. Like, you can control your controllables. Real talk. Anyways, back to the guide. And real talk, are you even willing to do what they did to get what they have, right? Risky behavior, risky choices. And a bigger question, do you even want what they have? This isn't about judging anyone. It's about remembering that your path is unique. Sometimes we get so fixated on what they have, we forget to ask, do I even want what, do I, that hella stuttered. Do I even want that for myself? Am I ready for what I'm asking for? And if the answer is no, or even I don't know, then it's time to stop pressuring yourself over someone else's timeline. So with that being said, before I close, I just want to leave you with this reminder. I know how hard it is to feel like you're the only one stuck in the middle, when you don't have a support system that understands, when it feels like you're figuring it all out alone. But your journey, it's just as worthy of a celebration. Instead of idealizing someone else's highlights, focus on your own progress. Instead of beating yourself up over the life you should have, ask yourself, what do I believe I'm missing out on? Is it really missing out, or just a societal construct? What do I actually want, and what shoulds no longer fit me? And one last thing, te dijeron se te fue el tren, pero homegirl, who said the train was the only way to get there? Y ahí estabas, bien parada en la pinche station, esperando for what? Because some random ass person in society said you had to be there? No mames. Maybe it's time to stop waiting, ponerte las pilas, and take your own path. One that actually makes sense for you, not what everyone else expects. Ponte trucha en tu camino. If this hits home, share with another homegirl who needs to hear it, porque no hay razón to process this solas. Till next time. Oh, and P.S. I don't have all the answers either, right? But I'm down to share my thoughts, my therapy takeaways, and the things I'm trying to do to release, let go, and move on. I don't have all the answers either. So, with that being said, sometimes we must let go of the life we plan to embrace the one waiting for us, by Joseph Campbell. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye. Okay, what y'all think of that episode? Les gustó? Not so much? Did it make y'all ponder, or just be like, esta morra no sabe nada? I just want y'all to feel seen and understood, not stressed out. Anyways, I'll catch y'all on the next episode, and remember, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got, by Henry Ford. Thanks for stopping by. Share, comment, and engage. Don't forget to follow this podcast on Instagram at the Crees Muy Muy Podcast. Go engage and invite other homegirls. Let's build that community. If you want, feel free to DM me for topics. And with that, I'll catch you next time. Bye.